Heading to the gym right now. Had a question asked to me on a Facebook message today. Hey Ricardo, my business is really slow. Will junk removal survive the economy right now? Have you ever seen it this way? Have you ever seen sales down this bad? Have you ever seen the economy this bad? Ricardo, can you give me your honest opinion about where do you see the future of junk removal going in the next few months? So that was a pending question that just hit me up on Facebook. They sent me a direct message. They DM me, I guess that's what it's called, DM me. And honestly, it's a question that I've been getting asked a lot lately. What's up, Alex? It's a question that's been coming up. Will junk removal in this economy survive? And I'll answer that question. I've answered this question in the past, so this is just an updated question. So I've been in this business long enough to realize over 16 years. I will tell you something. Before I really started in junk removal, I had started junk removal about, I guess I want to say 20 years ago. But I wasn't really serious about until 16 years ago. 16 years ago when I got a website, that's when I got really serious about it. But I was dabbling in it, like just posting it here and there every once in a while, making some extra. Whenever I needed money, I go do it junk removal, put it that way. I never really talk about this. But I'm going to talk about some economic failures that we've survived in the past. So immediately I can remember in 2001. In 2001, we had a .com. It was this .com failure that happened. Everybody had invested. Now, at the time, my business was just like, I was thinking of doing it, and then I was doing it a little on the sidey side. What's up, Robert? And I was kind of doing it on the side. I wasn't really concentrating. I really don't talk about this ever. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up right now. And then a few months later, as this .com bubble burst, and I think Robert remembers this .com bubble burst, the economy took a really deep dive, right? It was just failing. We were failing. We couldn't get out of this deep dive. And then we were just, was the Treasury going to tell the Mint to, make some more money, print more money up, give the banks more money? Were they going to do that? Well, I will tell you the .com bubble made a lot of investors, and especially banks, file bankruptcy. A lot of them did. And I was just starting my junk removal service. I was really just dabbing in it. I wasn't doing anything serious. I didn't even have a name. I was just going out there doing jobs. But I'm going to tell you something. Heading into September of 2001, I saw the economy failing pretty bad. And then something tragic happened where these two buildings hit the World Trade Center, and then one hit the Pentagon, and one landed in a field in Pennsylvania. I remember that. And that really sunk the economy. As a matter of fact, it was the second time that the stock market actually froze and didn't survive. It stopped. The first time was the Great Depression. I wasn't born back in the day. And the second time was September 11th. That's when the stock market just stopped. They didn't do business for a whole week. The government put constraints on the banks. But you know what? My business kept on running. My little side business that I had kept on going. It was weird. Not only was it not failing, it was actually helped me, give me a kick start, a kick in the butt to keep on going. And I was just dabbing in it. Like I said, I don't really talk about it much. I just kept on going and do jobs and doing this and doing that. It wasn't a big deal, but it gave me a kickstart into my business, like a 2.5 year start, and just boosted me up. And the question was asked to me today, Ricardo, do you think with the economy how it is right now, that junk removal, I keep on hearing that junk removal is really recession proof. How do you think we'll do? Well, this is your answer to it. The .com and September 11th tax in 2001 boosted my business, made me start a business, made me really realize that this business was something that I could do. And then it just took off. It just took off. And, I really started my business in 2004, 3 years later. That's when I really started. And I was staying in this business and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. And my business grew. It was pretty cool. I started hiring my friends. I started doing junk removal by myself. But when it really, as the years went on, 2007, 2008, 2009 rolled around. And if you want to talk an economic failure, as I was growing my business and trying to expand to other cities, I think at the time I did have Houston open at the time, but I was opening my business and I was trying to grow my business. Then the housing market busted. The mortgage crisis hit the wall. It was horrible. It was hard. People got greedy. And in 2000, I think I'm going to say 2008, 2009, the housing bubble blew up. The mortgage crisis came, and I'm going to tell you what that is. They kept on giving all these people these subprime mortgages. They would charge these people $1,000 to get into these houses with no deposits, no nothing, and the banks would just write up these notes. And this housing market, you'd pay for a house for $1,000, and then 3 years later it'd be $1,700 for the same house you're paying for $1,000 for a year already. And that's how they got you. But they got you in the house with this promise that you would eventually you would eventually make more money doing something, and you would come across $700 extra or whatever it was. And these subprime mortgages were horrible. They were horrible. When you would sign on the dotted line, the banks would tell you, your payment's going to be $1,500. And then 2 years later or a year later, these subprime mortgages would $2,500. The $1,500 would turn to $2,500. Will the housing mortgage go down? I think that's a good question, Carson Alexander. I think the interest rates will go down. They're going down right now. They're kind of trickling down really, really slow. But for us to buy more, see, that's what the government does. And I've seen this so many times and I'm going to tell you, I'm not a financial guy. You just see this. But that's what the government does. When they want to steady the economy and they think people are buying too much and spending too much, they raise the rate of housing. Why? Because everybody needs to live somewhere. See, people don't need a car. You can just walk somewhere. But everybody needs to live somewhere. And these mortgages, they're slowing the economy down because they think the economy is going to get out of hand pretty bad pretty soon. Money all over the place, people spending on housing, and the housing gets expensive. And then a house in Dallas that was $200,000 is now $300,000. So they raised the interest rates, and now the banks can't give loans to anybody. So the money stops. The money de-escalates. There's no more money. The banks start giving loans, people stop getting loans, and it just stops. So now the interest rate is slowing down. It's going down. I'm not slowing down, it's going down. And people are gently going to start buying things. And now the economy, they say the economy is slumping down, so they're going to try to get it medium again, okay? It's always going to go up or down, up or down, up or down. It's never steady, by the way, but they're going to try to get that balance for a couple of years. In 2008 and 2009, the housing market happened. It bubbled, blew up. Subprime mortgages, and then people started getting foreclosed on. People started getting evicted, and I'm going to tell you something. It was probably the best few years of Junk Guy's life. It was awesome. We were getting foreclosures. We were getting evictions. I remember it. I remember like it was yesterday. We were just making a lot of money. It allowed me to grow my business, expand my business, and it was really cool. What's up, Echo? What's up, Bison? And it was really, really great for our business because, see, trash is like air. It's always going to be there. It's just like water. You're always going to need it. And trash is something that's always going to be there. The more things you take in, the more things you take out. And at the time of this housing bubble in 2007, 8, and 9, I think it was 2008 to 2009, these mortgages hit. People couldn't afford them. And you know what's crazy about it? The most people that were affected were a lot of Hispanic and black people, not the white American, a lot of Mexican and black people, because they knew that Mexicans and black people would fail. So these banks started giving loans to Jose, who had a construction job and no paperwork. He didn't even have a Social Security, and they were giving out loans to these people. Seriously, they were giving $300,000 loans. Needless to say, the payment to that $300,000, I'm sorry, I meant to say 300. That $300,000 house, the payment for the first 2 years was $500. And then after that second year was over, the house was $2,500, and nobody could afford that. And then people started defaulting on their loans. They started defaulting big time on their loans. Evictions, foreclosures, and that's when my business took off. I repeated that again. I just want to be sure everybody can hear me. So the question comes on by Bison, and he says, good time to buy a shop. I don't think it's a good time to buy anything right now. I think you should really hoard your money, keep your money. To rent and lease, I think it's a great time to rent or lease. I think renting and lease is not a big deal, but right now to buy. So I went to look at a building to purchase, and the interest rate was so ridiculous. I was like, no thanks, let me rent that building. So instead I rented that building. Yeah. And that's why Mexicans Alex says a great comment. He says, that's why Mexicans put 4 families in one house. Exactly. That's what Indian people do too. You know, as my business from 2008 to 2009 exploded with all these high priced jobs, these evictions and stuff like that, it started to really, just be decent like this. It started just go. And I was never soaring anymore. The housing market made my business soar. While people were getting kicked out on the streets and getting foreclosed on and evicted, my business was soaring. I was able to buy more trucks. I was able to buy more trailers and just expand my business. But I'm going to tell you, it went all the way until 2018. And in 2018, rumors about this disease kept on going out, about this infection that was making people die and people were getting sick. And it was COVID-19. In 2019, it stopped the economy. The economy collapsed. It took such a high toll on everybody. The government did not allow stores to open, banks to open, froze accounts, froze everything. You couldn't go to the gym. You couldn't go to eateries. And one of the things that they did was give out these COVID funds, PPPL loans, EIDL loans, called Economic Disaster Loans, EIDL loans, PPPL loans, Paycheck Protection Program loans. When COVID hit and everything closed, I had this one guy comes up to me. He goes, hey, so what kind of business do you own? We had our mask on at the time, and I said, I run a junk removal service. And he goes, yeah, the government just said you can't go do business. And he goes, man, I bet your business is going to soar. I said, how is my business going to soar? He goes, man, because people are inside. All the people at IBM, at Hewlett-Packard, at Apple, they have to work from home. And I said, yeah, why would they need me? He goes, man, they're going to be sitting on their couches on the computer and realize they need a new couch, or realize they need a new desk and order it. And what's going to happen to the old desk? And I started going, nah, that's not going to work. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I got so much business during, oh my gosh. COVID was the best thing that ever happened to my business. It was crazy. It was crazy what happened with my business. But I'm going to tell you what's wrong with the economy right now. And I don't know a lot of things, but I know numbers. I do know numbers. I might not know how fast a cheetah or a lion can run, or I don't know a lot of things like that. And I don't know anything about the Earth's core or anything. Don't get me wrong, but I do know numbers, and I have common sense in a lot of things that I talk about. And I will tell you this. When you give anybody $200,000 or $300,000, and you say, here's $200,000 to $300,000, and you can pay me back in 2 years. Guess what those people do? They spend it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think they spend it wisely? No. Nobody spends $300,000 wisely when it's free. When you give me 2 years to pay that money back, $300,000, you give somebody $300,000 and you give them 2 years to pay it back, you know what they do? They spend it on nonsense things that are nonsense. When you give away free money, and you spend $4 trillion, $508 billion on schools, $190 billion on people like small business owners. Banks get $80 billion. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous. It mounted out to $4 trillion. When you give away money to the economy like that, I'm going to tell you what happens to the economy. When you put $4 trillion in circulation, that's all it does. Let me ask you something, guys. I don't think you understand how much money, the value of money is, and how much the government goes in debt every year. I don't think a lot of people know that we spend $800 billion on nonsense almost every year. $4 trillion in the economy is nothing to the United States of America. It is nothing. I'm not sure how much we spend a year. I'm not going to tell you that. I don't know the exact figure. But I will tell you something. The government gave everybody $3.8 trillion. I just rounded off to say to 4, okay? $3.8 trillion, $4 trillion. And the economy started soaring. Hey, man, let me ask you something. Do you know how fast people go through money? 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Guys, what did you think? The economy was just going to go up? Oh my, it's just common sense. Think about this. You give 100 men, $300,000, and out of those 100 men, I'm gonna everybody chime in below, and all 16 people, okay? If you give 100, no, you know what? We'll make this better. If you give 100, if you get 100 women, and you give them $300,000, in 2 years, how many of those 100 women will still have at least $100,000? Think about that. So the question is, if 100 women got $300,000, in 2 years, how many of those women will still have $100,000 extra? In the messages, I want you to give me that figure, what you would think. I want you to tell me what you think about that, what I just said. Because I'm going to tell you, it is a challenge. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I'll be honest with you. I don't think people understand that when you get $300,000 in the bank, how fast it goes and how quick that money is spent. Echo says 0. Mark Alvarez says 3. 100 women, you're right. I was thinking less than 5%, five of them, which is less than 5%. Guys, so think about it. Think about it. When I asked that question, imagine they gave this to poor people. They got 100,000 Mexican and black people. They gave 100 of those people $300,000, and imagine in 2 years how many people how many of that race would have that much money? There's your answer. They gave $580 billion, $580 billion to small business owners. It was a huge figure. I don't know the exact number. $3.8 trillion in the economic downfall of COVID, which lasted 1 year. And you think the economy's not going to hit and spike in 2000? This is the economy. 2019 loans, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go right back to the downfall. I'm going to answer one of these questions. None. Because they all spent their money at Victoria's Secret. Someone asked me a question. Do you have many different websites to attract? Oh, yes, of course, Mark. I have many different websites to attract customers. That's the reason why. I don't even know why I'm wearing these right now. I was wearing it because the sun was out. Now I'm not. Thanks, Joe. So now what's going on is that we're having an economic failure right now, and it's a small recession. And it's because 4 years ago, we gave these loans out. Now, don't get me wrong. COVID happened in 2019. They didn't start giving the PPPL loans and the EIDL loans until about late 2019, 2020 is when you can apply and get all these loans, okay? That's when you can get all these loans and make all this money. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to tell you something. Joe, bro, the economy is good right now. It's only getting... Joe, it's good for you, but there are a lot of people that aren't having great times right now. I know Carson's having great. Carson's really, really doing good right now. But there are other people in other states. Texas is doing great. There are people in other states that aren't doing that good at all. Like California, they're a shithole. Okay? And right now, people are asking why the economy is taking a dive right now. Can you believe that? I'm going to tell you why, because the government did it, you know? That's why. That's why, because the government did it. It's crazy. Indio Holler says Tampa is slow. Yeah, I'll believe you. I'll believe you on that one. Let me move. I'm at the gym right now. So I hurt my back a couple of days ago. I'm going to keep on talking for a second. I'm going to answer some of these questions. So if you got some of these questions, I will answer them. Let me put on my phones right now. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, man. What happened to my keys to my car? Here, dude. You know, and then you wonder why we took an economic slump right now. Why the economy's having such a hard time. When you pump in that much money into the economy of the United States, you're going to get some kind of failure, right? You're going to fail at something. Something's not going to do good. It's just going to fail. It just happens. It's a normal train of thought, what happens with people. Hey, can you check me in?
Ricardo Hernandez. 214-777-3095. And can you put me on 3? Please. No. I'm sorry. 10. 10 or 11. Thank you. And my back hurts, so I'm going to get on one of these machines. It is such a hard... Well, there's nobody in here. Okay. So, I'm going to answer some of these questions really fast. Let's see. Mark asked a question. He says, are they on niche websites? Well, they're targeted websites is what they are, Mark. Some of them are targeted for different cities, depending on which cities are really doing good for me, right? And I just build the websites accordingly to where I need the business to go, right? So if I want to grow my business in Fort Worth, I grow the business in Fort Worth a different way, right? I pinpoint the cities that I know will be really good for my business. So that's what I do. I'm putting this thing on. I'm going to answer some more questions right now, guys. Sorry about that. Do some kneading, some of this shit right here. And then start it off. Oh, here we go. Let me see if my Wi-Fi's on. I'm getting full strength in here. Never mind. Another question says, it's 2,000 pounds of hauling capacity good for starting a junk removal service? No, not really, brother. I mean, 4,000 pounds isn't bad. I think you should go with something like 4,000 pounds. I think it'd be a better suited for your business. Are you looking for like a small trailer or something? Is that what it is? I don't know. Is junk removal saturated in DFW? No, hell no. Nope, we need a lot more people in junk removal, especially like in Allen and Frisco. We need more people out there. Dude, we're so busy in that area. So busy. Collaboration between false pictures and web application. Jonathan, stand out and don't do it. Okay, every question says 14-foot utility trailer, and I was planning on building walls for it. So 2,000 pounds on a single axle. You have a single axle if you're saying that much, right? It's got to be a single axle, not a 2-axle. I mean, I would really think about something like that. You know, you're going to remove hot tubs, pianos, stuff like that. 4,000 pounds, 2-ton. I wouldn't get it. Double axle. 4 wheels. You'll do a lot better. So, going back to what I was talking about, is the economy failing right now? It's slow. We're trying to recover from COVID. We're trying to recover from the government giving all this money away is what's going on. And we're having a hard time with it. That's what it is. Yeah, dude. So, Planet Fitness. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. I heard Planet Fitness was like cheap for cheapskates, right? So they have this $10 plan that you come in here, like work out, take a shower, and then they have this $27 plan. You get these chairs, right? These massage chairs. Oh my God, they're the best. So I do massage chairs almost every night. I come in the morning, I do 25 minutes walking, then I work out at night, and then I get in this thing too. That's pretty cool. Yeah. But this one's brand new. They just built this. This chair is like brand new. Anyway, yeah, I think the economy, you're right, Joe, it will level out. It just takes time. The question that was pinning to me on Facebook direct message was, do you think junk will survive the economy right now? Yes, it will. We're going to do good. Don't worry about it. People are going to lose their houses. People are going to get foreclosed on, evicted. But you know what? It survived COVID, the housing market, and September 11th, the .com. It'll survive this. Yeah, India. They're so addicting. Anyway, guys. Got another question. Mark Alvarez says, if you start junk removal from scratch, how long before you reach consistent calls? Mark, you're going to get exactly what you put in. Exactly what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. Okay? If you're going to go and start going house to house and removing junk without a website, don't expect to grow. If you're going to build a website, pinpoint city website. Look at one of my websites, right? One of my websites is junkguysdfw.net, which is my main site. Then I have other websites in Frisco. I have one in McKinney. I have one in Arlington. I have one in Aledo. All these websites, right, that I have are all big websites. None of them are small. They're all huge websites. They all pinpoint different cities. They all pinpoint different things I want. I even have an eviction process page that's absolutely phenomenal. I put in that work and I'm going to get the work out of it. Okay? So, Mark, think about it. Are you going to work hard or are you just going to be lazy and sit down and not do shit about it? I edited a video this morning. I posted already. So, I'm ahead of the game. What would you price a 700 square foot hoarder house? No driveway and multiple concrete stairs to the street. Jesus, dude. I couldn't even tell you, compound. I couldn't even tell you. I'm not looking at anything, you know? I can't look at it. Yeah. Website. All day question. Everything question, everything. He asked me a question. Website or Facebook? Or does Facebook work? Fuck, Facebook is the worst. Facebook's the worst. Websites will dominate anything. No, dude. If it's a good website and you're pumping information to it, yeah, dude. No, website's way better. Jonathan, when you mean websites, are you talking about like different web addresses or like SEO? No. So I build websites. I build websites for my business, for my own business, like www.junkguysaledo.com, junkguysarlington.com, junkguysfrisco.com, junkguysfriscotexas.com, junkguysdfw.com, and junkguys with an S, dfw.net. All are full-blown websites. They're full-blown websites. Every one of those websites is better than everybody's website. Yeah. So, I mean, I build them because I want them to rank, and most of them do rank. Well, a handful of them do. So I think I named about 7 websites. Out of the 7, I think 4 or 5 of them rank pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to get business. I don't rely on Google My Business for it. Well, that's interesting. Thanks for answering. I was planning on just doing one. Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, I'm going to go because I'm going to lean into this thing, get my back massaged pretty good. I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? Have a great Sunday, guys. Bye-bye.